Thank you everyone for joining me for Local Heroes of Japan. It's 11 p.m. on a Friday night, and we're about to watch a presentation on one of my favorite subjects.
Yes.
This is exactly what it's like to date me.
How single are you?
Oh, I'm very single.
Joe, are you interested?
Okay, so this is going to be pretty casual. So first of all, if we want to talk about local heroes and what I mean by local heroes, we need to talk about tokusatsu, which is one of my favorite topics of all time. Tokusatsu is a word that basically just means special effects, and it basically refers to any kind of special effects program. And now, when we think about special effects, like it can just mean somebody is in a costume, they're using like explosions and things like that, you know. So really, a lot of these things that you might not think of as tokusatsu really are tokusatsu. Now, if we want to talk about local heroes, first of all, we need to start with the big three. Ultraman in 1966, Kamen Rider in 1971, and Super Sentai in 1975. Now, these are all tokusatsu, like superhero shows that were produced over this period of time. Ultraman was by Suburaya Studios, and Kamen Rider and Super Sentai were by Toei. Now, these three were massive. These were extremely popular superhero shows. And so after that, like, kids had superhero fever. Everyone was like, how can we get kids to come to our malls? How can we get kids to come to our events and things like that? We need to come up with maybe, how do we capitalize on this superhero craze? And so the idea of a local hero was born. The idea that maybe your local event or your local mall or something could have its very own hero that you will see. And so here's a small audience participation question. I have a couple of these throughout the site. What do you think was the name of the very first local hero? Do you think it was A, Go Ranger, B, Moonlight Ace, or C, Rainbow Mask?
C.
I'm going B.
C.
C would be or C.
Got some B's, got some C's and things. Okay?
It's not A.
It is not A. I'm glad there are people who know their stuff in this thing. No, the first one is, it was called Rainbow Mask. This was a hero promoting Endo Chain, a supermarket chain in Sendai City, Miyagi Prefecture. As you can see, he's got a pretty funky design. He got his own local television show called Rainbow Attack Ace. Now, here's the thing, Wikipedia and stuff like that, when I was like doing research and stuff, seems to think he's called Rainbow Attack Ace. And then I did more research, and I'm sure all of them are wrong. So it might be that he's called Rainbow Mask. He also might be called Rainbow Attack Ace, and I just don't know what I'm talking about.
Your picture says Rainbow Attack A on it.
Well, no, that was the name of his show. So this is an advertisement for his show, his television show, which was Rainbow Attack Ace, but the character himself is Rainbow Mask. Now, I was trying to look up, like, stuff about him and his character, and one Japanese Wikipedia site I found said he was a gritty, dark anti-hero who did whatever he could to win. And so I don't know how reliable that was, but it literally was.
You don't understand how dark and gritty the supermarket wars are.
Oh, I know, right? I know.
The name Rainbow was just a trick.
But what I will say that maybe offered a little more of a hint into it is that he was well known enough that he actually got a reboot film in 22, and it was called Rainbow Mask versus the Homeless Phantom Army.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Oh, it's a capitalism film.
So I don't know, I've never watched it.
Does he
But
beat up the homeless in it?
I'm starting to, I don't know. I'm assuming maybe. So maybe that says something about our good friend Rainbow Mask.
Well, you know, there's those evil homeless who are trying to get food from the supermarket, and he had
We
to stop
don't
them.
know.
It's all
Obviously.
spikes on shelves.
Yeah, But in general, let's just say it was the Rainbow Mask is generally regarded as like the first proper like local hero, and by that I mean it's a superhero who is designed to promote a specific area, a specific business, or if there's a type of public interest project or something. They do meet and greets. They do stage shows, often martial arts stage shows. They have lots of merchandise. The best way I can describe it is budget but earnest. It's very much this feel of like a small local government, like somebody at a small local government says, hey, I've got a great idea for our recycling campaign, let's make a hero, and the government goes, that's a fantastic idea, here's £500. And so a lot of this is, it's a bit crappy, and it's a bit volunteer, and it's a bit budget, but it's so earnest and whimsical that I can't help but feel it's charismatic. And as you can see there, it has really kind of exploded in the number of heroes that there are. And you might be wondering, why has the local hero population boomed all of a sudden? As I say, like the first local hero was back in 1970 something. So, and then we didn't really get a lot of local heroes, but why is it suddenly boomed all of a sudden? Well,
Rabbits.
Rabbits? Nope.
I'm half expecting yours to be weird local tax thing.
Well, some are rabbits. I would attribute it to the Eurocara boom. Do we know what Eurocaro are? So Eurocaro are basically, it's a term called loose mascot characters. Again, like what local heroes are. They're a little bit budget, they're a little bit crappy, but they're really earnest. Around 2004, 2005, etc., there was an absolute huge boom in Eurocara. People could not get enough of these mascots, like the rabbit that was promoting a certain kind of fabric that was available in a local store or something. And also around this time, remember the big three that I told you about, Ultraman, Kamen Rider, and Super Sentai? Well, Kamen Rider was doing really, really well at that time. Super Sentai, Kamen Rider had just had a big renaissance. Super Sentai never really stopped being good. Ultraman, not gonna lie, Ultraman was kind of struggling at that time. It would be 3 years before the first Ultraman Zero film, and so he was kind of struggling, but he did have Ultraman Tiga who was there, and everyone really, really liked Ultraman Tiga. But yeah, regardless, so we had this kind of combination of essentially this historical love of tokusatsu style heroes going back decades and decades, plus this Eurocara boom all of a sudden, plus the fact that the main three tokusatsu heroes were really popular. Then in addition, we need a way to get kids and their families involved in all these things. And then finally, you have nerds with a lot of disposable income. So if you've got a recycling project for your local government and you want to raise money for that, you pump out a bunch of merchandise and you can raise money that way. So it really was a combination of all of these elements that kind of led to the kind of local hero boom. And as you can see, I think that was a local hero gathering in 2021. I think it was 63 local heroes around the Chiba area alone were at that event. So the first really big one I'm gonna say was this one, Chojin or Super God, I think Niagara, I think you pronounce it. He is from Nyako Akita Prefecture. He debuted in 2005. His general deal is that he possesses the power of Namihage, who are like ogres that appear at New Year's to scare children. Basically, if your child has been not doing the dishes, then a Namihage will come and scare them and say, if you don't do the dishes, then I'm going to eat you. It is a really cool, kind of weird and scary New Year's tradition. But not this guy. He's got the power of it. He uses it to protect children and fight evildoers. And you'll start to notice a kind of theme, much like with Yurakara, incorporating like local characteristics into them. Local heroes will also kind of do that because they're trying to represent their prefecture. So this guy wields a dual sword made out of grilled mochi and sticks, which is a local delicacy. And he was really, really popular. He got an op song written by a really famous anime song singer. He got friends like Neger, Gion, Aramiru, Neron Mai on the right there. And just to give you the first taste, I do have videos alongside here. So I'm going to show you a short clip from him to give you an idea of what I was kind of meaning by Budget but earnest. Yeah.
おっしゃ青年秋田県は海を受け止め猛獣玉に正義の怒りを込めて超人ネイガーに変身するのだ
There are no subtitles.
I guess the alphabet.
Hopefully you can get
い
the
や
gist.
かなり探したともねえなここでねえんだべやな待てガジャック組合いやさせめろ
That's the kind of transition I like.
悪さするなんて俺ら絶対に許さんおめえがムキになるってことは俺らならやっぱしこそあるんだな俺がやるぞ何のことだガーッと大げやがっておしめ持ってやれ
That was legit somersault. Like, I'm down with that. Oh.
タロッテソード ほりゃほりゃほりゃほりゃ天然記念物から必殺技ライドニングクラッシュ 輝く日本海と豊富な海の幸小田半島は秋田の宝だ悪いやつは盗みやさせねえぞみんなして守っていくべへばな
Tell me what's so better than Hollywood.
He, like I say, just, I appreciate the craft. Like, I appreciate the effort. So, most of this, I'm going to say, most of this thing is just going to be me enthusing about local heroes that I really like. Because, as I say, he was kind of the first one, but then again, that just led to a lot of different ones. So here's one Space-Time Warrior, Evil Liger, based in Ibaraki. And again, you're going to start seeing, like, just taking from the, sort of local thing. So here, that is him in the middle, in the red. His backstory is he is a combat android who has come from a ruined future to save this particular district of Japan. The science park that's there, because at one point they were doing experiments there and they accidentally created evil life forms known as Jerk. And then in this ruined future, the Jerk went on to take over Japan, destroy Japan, so he's back from the future in order to try and save the world. Again, very humble beginnings, started from just a volunteer team of like 10 people, but then slowly expanded over time. I have another clip of him as well,
Do they steal the JAXA rocket?
It's a good song.
I'm a fighter. Let's mega. I'm a fighter. Let's giza. I'm a fighter. Let's terra. I'm a fighter. 進んだ時を守る希望ライガー時空を超えて光あふれる世界へエキストダイナモ感情パワー正義の心で弱を倒せ夢を未来つなぐソウル溢れる愛燃えるハート君の勇気もっと青い地球守るパワー希望と夢を力に変えて今ライガ
Is there a go-kart range in this prefecture?力に変えて茨や夢を未来つなげるため溢れる愛広めるため君の勇気伝えるため人の命絶やさぬためみんなの心と愛を力に変えて茨や
I'd watch it.
Yeah. It's not I don't think it's even a TV show. He just does like just hero shows and stuff. Like I always think that the best I don't know if anyone here also like B movies and stuff, but I think
Yes.
the sign of a good B movie is sincerity, right? And like sincerity, I feel just kind of like everyone's trying their best. And it's what I really like about local heroes. So let's just continuing onwards from them. So we've also, so as I said, there's a lot of different heroes, and so you've even got sometimes fusion heroes. So this guy, Mirager, is actually a fusion of 6 different heroes across 6 different prefectures, drawing power from their local specialty products. He was actually popular enough to be adapted into a Thailand TV show in 2016, Mirager T1. Fortunately, I do not have any clips from that. Then you've also got I did say businesses, and so some big businesses are getting onto the.
How does he look worse than the people who didn't have a budget?
He's loving it.
Lack of
He's a
sincerity.
soulless capitalist creation.
So there you
As opposed
go.
to a soulful capitalist
To
creation.
protect your PC, Norton Fighter in 2008.
International businesses evil, small local supermarket chains good.
Yeah.
And he needs to somehow look like Norton.
So I did say this I did have to cover these because I did say it in my panel description. The Go-Go Garbage Rangers, Separation Sentai Garbage Rangers, designed to help raise awareness about the importance of properly separating your garbage. And if you're just like, do you have a video clip of this? I sure do. I don't know if I'll do all of it, but I do. By the way, this video was uploaded on YouTube 14 years ago, and you can tell by
All the pixels!
all the pixels.
That's some big thing.
Here they're going to teach you about the 4 R's of cycling your trash.
ゴミになるものを断ろう。マイバッグやマイ箸を持ち歩くのもグッド。
Don't take a bag, you don't need one.
They keep giving you bags.
使い捨てはなるべく使わず、シャンプーなどは積む替えを買おう。修理やリフォームをして繰り返し使おう。出たゴミは分別して再生資源にしよう。
Okay, I think you get all. Oh. I forgot the slow walk.
The only thing I got from the book, I never used the tank back.
That's the Japanese standards is average.
Well, I want to recycle now. 12 keeps.
Okay, I'm just where I need to keep going. So, So yeah, the Go-Go Garbage Rangers, not to be confused by the cleaning center Garbage Ranger. These are a bunch of students who go to the Hokkaido Institution of Technology, and they basically do volunteer work around Sapporo City and such. Not to be confused with the environmental Sentai, Stellar Ranger, STE standing for Save the Earth, or the Earth Sentai Garbage Ranger. Again, this is Cleaning Sentai Garbage Ranger, this is Earth Sentai Garbage Ranger.
They should all fight.
Yeah, they really
Who's the
do.
superior garbage
They
ranger?
team up
Oh,
after they fight.
yeah.
Um,
About 45 minutes into the 1 hour movie.
Yeah. Not to be confused by the Global Environment Sentai Peace Ranger or or another Separation Sentai Eco Ranger. What can I say? I think it's just really important to separate your garbage and put them in the bin and such. People say that Japan's really clean. I guess it's thanks to the efforts of all of these brave warriors. Really, like I said at the beginning, the local heroes often have like one of the things they can cover is like a public interest campaign, and the environment, it seems to be a very recurring one for obvious reasons. They're not all Sentai. This guy, like environmental warrior, like Ohgaman, he's got a cool eagle costume, original character show. He fights to stop global warming and such.
Mega Man.
Then he is kind of like that, yeah. But then if we want to go a little further up the budget, Eco Gander.
Ooh.
Environmental superhuman Eco Gander. This is the highest budget one thus far in the presentation.
Oh, do they have like
He got a
1,000
DVD
quid?
box.
Oh, they may have, because they got like, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like a really popular like anime singer to give him like a theme song. This is a guy who, he got like a full television series of like 12 episodes and then a sequel series as well. It's a hero from the future who traveled back in time to teach children about how to save the environment by saving resources. And I have the op. I have the first episode, but we're only watching the op because the episodes are 10 minutes long. But this one is subbed. I-
It looks like someone cosplaying a Southbridge drinker.
You see small children, you know, wasting resources and just punching
Yeah, they're wasting resources.
First
Just stop
win,
that.
you know.
Did you get a babe?
They got something from 48. Like, this has budget behind it. Like,
Personally, I don't think they're getting a great impression that
Dad.
the forces of anti-environment are so sexy, you know. You've got this guy, and then you've got the forces of evil who are wearing cool leather, you know.
Something's inevitable. We should watch it.
so yeah, you can watch the first episode, at least on
The
YouTube.
environmental Superman eco kind of appears, maintain a suitable temperature.
Yeah, I think this is the episode about how if you turn down your thermostat by 2 degrees, you save a lot of energy, and that saves the environment. It's a full 10 minutes on that alone. So that's like the most high budget thus far in the presentation.
Things were getting higher.
I love DENTMAN. DENTMAN is one of my favorite local heroes. He is an oral, according to his website, he is an oral warrior dispatched from the Tooth Fairy world who works to reduce fear of dentists and toothbrushing. There you can see him flossing, of course.
Oh.
He's kind of incredible. He has been around since like 2016. He tweets in English and Japanese, and about a year ago, he responded to somebody he responded to an English speaking person on Twitter, and they were like spread the word, and now he's just kind of incredible. But also he has an arch nemesis as well, a sentient piece of candy called Mr. Mutan, named after the specific, I believe that's like the specific germ that causes tooth decay. His slogan is a root canal filling in your heart. I love him so much because, for example, he has a blog on his English site, and it's only got one post, and it's sample. He also brings us amazing tweets like, "We need more teeth." It is no use crying over a missing tooth. Brush your teeth now. Don't let gum recession move forward to dental health with an actual gun for some reason. And quite frankly, my favorite one, after somebody sent him a saucy, borderline, not safe for work fan art of himself. What is DENTMAN is incredible. Everybody should follow him.
Oh my god, he has a literal crown on his head.
He's got a crown on his head. He's incredible.
Well, I know your next cosplay next year.
I'm 16 in Japan as a dentist.
This is just another guy I really like. Just another example. Again, this is just like stuff I just like. So this is a guy, Light War God Warrior X. He's based out of the Kagoshima region. He's the leader of the Emotion Sentai, and he wields the emotion of joy or fun. I like him because he's a big lad. You don't get to see a lot of heroes who are just big lads who are having fun, and so I really appreciate him being around. And here's him in the middle with a slightly older costume than previous before, and surrounded by other members of the Emotion Sentai. Here's the second audience presentation. True or false?
Oh, God,
There's a local hero in Japan that represents England. This
There
is not a trick
is.
question, as in the actual place we are in right now.
There is. I think Tom Constantine plays him.
Are they based out of the embassy or something?
I'm getting true or false?
It's
True.
true.
It's true. It is
different one.
true.
There's more than one of these.
Yeah, Avalon, Knight of the Round Table.
Yes.
He works to maintain peace between Japan and the folk of the Fae, as in basically anything that's magical. Played by an actual British person who was just named in the audience just now. I agree with that expression
He was-
on your face.
He's the guy who was. He was one of the bodyguards in what?
Geats.
Geats, yeah. He was.
He's been in a lot of tokusatsu actually.
Usually his work being beaten up.
Yeah.
He got a belt eventually.
So originally, I believe originally the idea was they were gonna make this like mini series this first season, and then kind of shop him around. But then COVID happened, and this is like an independent production. So so he kind of just showed up anyway. But now they're kind of back on track, and they're gonna be releasing the first season of like Avalon, just a mini series, next month.
Have you pre-ordered the DVD?
No, I have not. I'm gonna see if I can get it for free. I don't want to pay for it, honestly. The guy who made it, like he's kind of I think he's another British national living in Japan. He's trying to make tokusatsu films, and he said that his unique genre is called Earl Grey tokusatsu, based on the idea that when Italian people made westerns, they called it spaghetti westerns. So he's calling it Earl Grey tokusatsu. Shrug.
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been deep fried tokusatsu.
That's true. That's true. I do really like this quote though. Do you consider yourself a cultural representative for Japan? And I feel like this should be preceded by legally. I do not consider myself an official representative, but one day I hope I can be seen as much. So maybe that was a trick question because he's not technically an official representative, but yeah, there's a couple that try to get that crown. Local heroes were even popular. In fact, they made an anime about local heroes. Action Heroine Cheerfruits is basically, it's a 12-episode semi-slice of life about a bunch of cute girls. Like, you've seen the anime where cute girls form a band. You've seen it, the one where like cute girls, I don't know, try to be farmers or something. Like
Make mug.
Yeah. This is basically cute girls try to become local heroes to revitalize their town. It aired in 2017. It's available with English subtitles and Crunchyroll. It's okay. It's okay. That's the best thing I can say about it. Ohgaman. Ohgaman is one of my favorites. He's the pharmaceutical warrior Ohgaman. I love his rationale in that there used to be a hero in Japan based on a doctor motif, but there's never been one based on a pharmacist. So, and he was created because there was a lot of leftover medicine in his district. People that are prescribed medicine that don't take them or start for self-medication. And so he's raising awareness of this problem of unused medication.
Did he break into people's houses and make them take their leftover
No.
medication?
Would he? No, he's a hero of justice. He wouldn't, but he would like be very intimidating about it.
Take your
He's
medicine
got-
and sleep was very creepy.
It is basically the line he says after he's finished like beating up bad guys. He's just like, take your medicine and sleep. It is far more badass than it has any right to be, and because of that, he became incredibly popular. Just to give you an idea of like the vibe of local heroes that I really like. There was an interview, sorry for the Google Translate, but basically it's like, what was the most important point in making Ohgaman? And the person starts talking about how because he liked Kamen Rider because he had a strong reason for fighting. Kamen Rider V3 had his parents killed. Ohgaman is a drug warrior. What pharmacists are, heroes in fighting against, is medical finance. The pharmacist's mission is to reduce medical costs. When we applied this to the hero, the object of battle became the remaining medicine. And he's genuinely really popular. He's getting like a spin-off like series on like all these kind of streaming sites. A day of Ohgaman. He's genuinely really popular. However, where there is light, there must be darkness.
Why is there a furry?
Why not?
There are multiple
Secret Society
furries
of Darkness.
in the Secret Society of Darkness Incorporated.
There are at least two on screen.
So obviously, I've said before that there are heroes and there are stage shows where they are fighting, but of course there must be villains involved. And so, Secret Society of Darkness Inc. is the first monster specialist company founded on selling the service of losing to the hero. Basically, if you have a local hero and you need them to beat up a villain, they will supply that villain to you. Because, as it says at the bottom, like, you can't have a hero if there's no villain to fight. So their job is to spread fear and despair to children and give the hero a reason to fight. The main guy, the CEO, is this guy, Yaiba Kamen, which is basically Bad Mask. He's awesome. I really like his design. You can see there, that is like the evolution of his costume. They've deliberately tried to make him, even though he's kind of cool and cyborg, tried to not make him too themed on one way, because otherwise it might be dissonant with the heroes. You can see just how he has kind of evolved over time. You can see there at the far end, like the way that his eyes change depending on his expression, which is really cool. He's also got this cool power-up mode called Overtime mode, because the idea of working without pay until the job is done. Yaiba Kamen's recent power-up form is born with the salary and spirit of working without pay to get the job done, even though you really shouldn't. And yeah, he's getting really popular. Like, I believe, the company did pretty well. They have recently, I think a few years ago, kickstarted manga with Yaiba Kamen that were going to get published in America. There are also villains like Maid Butler on the left, Shabri Man, who is kind of like a combination, like sports commentator, like business guy. Usagi, who is just the like plush rabbit, and the rest is just a shadow body that attaches to it. And Yuju's, who I really love because she is a kleptomaniac. She's robot and kleptomaniac as well. Now, the most exciting thing happening in Local Hero right now is Dogengers. This is a series that debuted in 2020. The title is basically a combination of The Avengers, as in superhero The Avengers, and Dogen, which is kind of like a local colloquialism for or local phrase for everyone. So it's really the Yalgers, really. So yeah, like Ohgaman was doing really well. Secret Society of Darkness was like, hey, let's collaborate and like actually make a full-ass TV show. And they came up with it, and it was really great. So they got a bunch of heroes, local heroes, all throughout the Fukuoka region to come together. Now, this isn't the first time that there's been this kind of crossover event. There was a thing called J Heroes, which kind of did the same kind of thing a year before. But I kind of know more about the genders, and also it's lasted a bit longer as well. So here you see, from left to right, Fukio Kalber from Fukua Prefecture, whose defining characteristic is that his outfit's made out of local silks and tapestries. El Brave, who is a cool, like, pro wrestling type character, working for the Hachihata construction company. Yamashiro for the Yamashiro Gas Company, who is actually 3 heroes who combine into one. You've got Ohgaman there in blue, and Kitaku Man representing Kitakushu City. I love Kitaku Man. He is cool.
Is he the one that keeps crashing his car?
He's the one who keeps crashing his car. And then they blew it up in the second series of Dogengers. Just blew up his actual ass car that he uses. And then at the end of it, during the end credits, there was a thing saying.
Who keeps funding him?
Yeah, there was a thing in the end credits of that episode where it was like, we had to sign so much paperwork to blow up the Kitaku car. Like, so many committee meetings to convince everybody that we could blow up the Kitaku car. So yeah, he is one of my favorites. I couldn't find the tweet, but there was a thing where there was a story of somebody who went to sort of Kitakushu city, went through like customs or such, and they said, okay, why do you come here? And he said, I'm here to see Kitaku-man. And the person behind the counter was like, oh, just dark. Oh, I see. He's also like a legit model. He works as a model as well. Like local heroes typically don't take off their helmets, but he does because he's like stonking handsome. And here you get another. He's recently going to get a new suit. I think he's gotten a new suit, and as you can see there, that's basically the kind of evolution of his outfit as he's become sort of more popular and gotten more money in. So yeah, Dojengers was really, really popular, and it's gotten 3 series kind of since then. It's gotten second series, Nice Buddy, the third series, High School, and the fourth series, Metropolis. The 5th season has been greenlit. It's going to come out in 2024. And like I say, because these are all local heroes, I mean, yeah, they came about from the TV series, but they do hero shows. You can do meet and greets. They promote their different products and such. And it includes one of my favorite new additions who came in season 3, Mako, who represents a major mentaiko manufacturing company, which I believe is a kind of spiced fish.
It's cod roe.
Hmm?
It's spiced cod roe.
Spiced cod roe, right. And like, I don't know how that came about. I think it was literally like they went up to somebody and said, hey, if you sponsor, like if you add to sponsor of Dojengers, then we'll make a hero and you get to keep the hero and she gets to keep promoting your product. I really like her. Here's her doing the Oshi no pose. Here's her on the left saying, oh yeah, I'm going to be working at the shop on a particular day. You should come back and see me. Here's her with her own branded frying pan, which you can pick up. Here's her on the right, just kind of looking cute in a backstage thing.
I didn't realise how much I needed a frying pan with kitty ears until this very moment.
I know, right?
That's quite cool.
I know, right? I know. If you want to watch Dojengers yourself, episodes are available on the official Dojengers YouTube channel, including back to save footage. However, there are no official English subs on that though.
If you watch enough Tokyo, you can guess what's happening.
Kinda, yeah. So it's a weird thing because High School, when that came out on the YouTube channel, it had official subs for about a month, and then it just took them down, and I have no idea what happened to them. So I must stress there are no official English subs for those 4 series. But what I do want to show you is like the opening for like High School. Like I believe, well, we're at time, but I don't think anyone's after us, so I'm going to show it anyway. And also,
I think this is the last thing in the room. So
yeah. So it means I can just kind of show it. So I'm going to show this because this was the first season I watched, and I really, really like it. And it's got Mako in it, who's one of my favorite characters. So. The premise is Mako is a schoolgirl who gets to become a hero, by the way. it's just good vibes. I think another thing that's really good about it is that like when they made it, there's like a lot. If you're like a tokusatsu fan in general, there's like a lot of fan service. Like they cast a bunch of people. Like the people inside the suits, for example, are like veterans from like the main three. They cast a bunch of people who have been in like tokusatsu. So I mean, if you're already a fan of it, like there's lots of little Easter eggs and stuff for you. So I guess the last thing I kind of just want to say as we just finish it off is basically the question of like, why would you want to be a local hero after kind of all of that? And so, like, there was an interview with some of the heroes from Dogenders, and these were some of the reasons that they gave. Like, so Kitakuman was like, well, like my city wasn't really that famous, so I decided to become a hero so that people would know about it. Yamashiron was literally like, yeah, it's my job. Like, the company decided to start a hero department, and so it's my job now. Fukuo Caliber was just like, yeah, I really wanted to be a hero. Like, I heard that there's a chance to become a hero, and heroes are kind of cool, so I really want to be a hero. And then El Brave at the bottom is just like, yeah, like I'd say heroes are a big brother, a goal, a dream. I want to pass on the courage I received from heroes to children, and so I became a hero. And so I think at the end of the day, a lot of people are local heroes because they want to, because they really like heroes, they like what heroes kind of stand for, and they like passing on that courage and love to children and families and their whole district, really. So at the end of the day, I hope that's what you kind of leave here with. Any kind of questions or anything?
Have you ever seen Ryujin Mabia? That's another local hero show.
I haven't, no.
Ryujin Mabia, it's local hero for Okinawa. It's had something like 5 series, 3 side series and a film.
Right.
The first series is subbed, and you can probably find. I went months to sub that. Screw you.
Okay. Yes. I'm so glad that I'll try looking that up.
It is the first series is good because it is clearly made on the tiniest of budgets, as in, we were able to borrow this ruined castle, or we rented the community centre for the day.
Oh yeah.
The second series has enough budget that it stops being endearing and starts being generic, which is a problem.
We rented the community centre for a day. Next 5 episodes are in the community centre.
No, a lot of it, I think it's only 1 episode in the community centre, but a lot of it seems to be some town somewhere or a field.
Oh, so not quite as bad as Ultraman Gingham, I guess.
Slightly less budget than Ultraman Gingham.
Oh god.
But it's basically, let's go in on the local culture, the local language, and all sorts of in-jokes.
Yeah. Any other questions or anything?
I will say that Ohgaman put me into a slight state of trauma because I work in the pharmaceutical industry. Feel free to hate me now, but it did remind me of, in the course of my work, I cover the Japanese pharmaceutical industry, and I found possibly the worst product endorsement local hero. This was for a kind of a anti-itch cream for the downstairs area. Crotch hero.
Oh my god.
Teaching you about how to look after your balls.
Please tell me he was Tanuki themed.
No, he was actually Gundam themed, which is even scarier.
Crotch Hero is the worst sequel to Guitar Hero
Is this
ever.
related in some way to Condom Battle Agoro?
It's not, but that is also something that comes up with startling regularity at Minamicons in the UK.
But it's kind of wild that that's kind of like local heroes were so influential at one point that somebody literally said, we've got to make a hero to promote our crotch cream.
Yeah.
That'll work. There's enough cultural capital that somebody's like, yes, that will work.
I know, so I had to say it after.
No, that's absolutely fine.
I would pay to see the confessors of the executives approving that.
Then you know that they were the ones suggesting it.
On the one hand, you want to search for it, but on the other hand, you just know Googling crotch hero is going to get you an awful lot of hits you just don't want on your computer.
Yeah. It's not going to get you the right results.
Yeah. Not the worst local hero that I've heard of, which I technically didn't include in this because it's technically based in America. The worst one was, I'm just going to say it. It was a hero called Piss Jug Man.
Oh, no.
And it was a hero designed because people, it was for truckers. To promote and basically say, stop leaving bottles of your piss at truck stops, please. But it made all the thing. It was like,
Oh God, I
they
remember
had
that on
like
Twitter.
signs saying you can bring your kids to meet Piss Jug Man, and it was kind of like it ticked all the boxes of being a local hero except for not actually being in Japan. So
I was going to say, on the subject of America, do you remember when there was a wave of American vigilantes as superhero films started getting popular in the cinema? And did you hear what happened with that?
injury?
Well, no. So, a whole bunch of people inspired in a similar way, but rather than doing this fun, colourful, uplifting stuff, they all decided they all wanted to be Batman. And they would all find somewhere in their town that they'd heard was a rough spot.
Oh, you beat up
and
homeless people.
and they'd hide behind a bin or something in an alleyway and wait for a woman to get attacked. And then, as this had been happening for a few months, and all the interviews were like, in 2 months, I picked up 3 pieces of litter. I didn't save any women from being attacked. I was bored witless. I've stopped doing it now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's there's such a difference between the idea of like the local hero versus like I'm gonna just go around break people's legs.
They did costumes and everything.
Yeah, they did costumes. I totally get that. They
In
made
Seattle,
costumes and
it was one of the few
everything, but
places where
it's such a
vigilantism was actually
different
legal.
feel of the hero. Like sometimes being a hero is just being like there's a lot of litter in our area. I'll be a hero that tries to encourage kids to pick up their litter. And there's something really like sweet and like whimsical about that I just again, it's why I love local
Imagine
heroes.
if Glasgow had a hero like that.
There's just such whimsy
I
about
do
it,
wonder
you know?
though if there was a little bit of like in Japan, people probably
Thanks for coming
trust
along.
the police more than they do in the US.
Yeah.
In the US.
In any case, thank you very much for coming along. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your evening.